15 Things You Didn't Know About the Clown Killer John Wayne Gacy. Part 1.
If you are brand new to our channel, we invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Just click on the lit red button as well as the gray bell. Why the bell? Well, it will let you know every time we post a new video.
1. The handcuff and rope trick. Apparently, one of the ploys Gacy used to get handcuffs onto his victims was to pretend it was a magic trick. He would don trick cuffs, and then magically get out of them. "Let me show you how it's done," he would say. Only thing was the cuffs the victims put on were the real thing. In a filmed interview, he chillingly talked about the rope he used to strangle the young men and boys. Slip it over their head, slipping a rod underneath, and then slowly twisting until the victim died. Or sometimes he would do it in stages, strangling them until they blacked out, and then reviving them, and doing it all over again. And the neighbors knew nothing. Some reported hearing some screams, but hey, it was a nice neighborhood. Nothing ever happened there. 2. It runs in the family. truenisusa.blogspot.com. Gacy's father was reportedly a violent man. And we know all about Gacy and his twisted, sadistic murdering ways. Then in 2012 his nephew Raymond Casper was tried and convicted for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl on several occasions. Prosecutors told the court that Casper's fat, sausage-like fingers touched the girl while rubbing lotion onto her body. Cringe. Supposedly, he was a boyfriend of the girl's mother. Cringe big time. Casper claimed the girl made it up. The court believed her, and he got 24 years. It probably didn't help his case that he was Gacy's nephew. 3. That all-important last meal. Mirror.co.uk. It was an all-American grease-up, with 12 fried shrimp, a bucket of original recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken, mounds of French fries and a pound of strawberries. Oh, don't forget a Diet Coke. Wouldn't want to pack on the pounds, would he? Way back in his model citizen days, Gacy had managed 3 KFC restaurants, and reportedly loved the original recipe chicken the chain produced. And the strawberries? The comedian father of his lawyer, Karen Conti, had suggested it over the phone to Gacy. Why? Gacy had asked. Because Joe Conti had said strawberries would be out of season and be very, very expensive. Gacy liked the idea. Kiss my A big time. The thing was, Gacy never thought it would happen. Never thought he would die, telling one of his lawyers to call him back later. Later, they said, "You'll be dead in an hour." And he was 4. His house obliterated from the face of the earth. http://all-ths-nerd-shit.tumblr.com/ Who would want to live at 8213 Summerdale? In a word, nobody. For years after the trial, Gacy's former neighbors complained of sightseeing traffic amounting almost to bus tours besieging the once quiet neighborhood. In any event, the police had more or less dug up and demolished huge bits of the house to get to bodies. Grisly pictures of the crawl space with numbered markers were bad enough, but scenes of remains being carried out in body bags and the revelations that came out at the trial meant that it was inconceivable that the place could be put on the market. But it did get sold eventually in a sheriff's sale, the old house demolished, and a new one built in its place. Locals talked of the buyer being crazy, and predicted the ghosts would be coming out of the woodwork. Well, we all know what happened in Poltergeist, don't we? 5. Child trafficking and a cover-up, truecriminefacts.tumblr.com. Before he was executed, Gacy recorded a message that could be accessed via a 1-900 number, at a cost of nearly $24. According to the New York Times, the 12-minute recording by Gacy accuses unidentified others of committing the murders and burying the victims under his house. Some asked where the heck Gacy was at the time. His own lawyers maintained he was out of town when 16 of the murders were committed. By our count, that's less than half of the body count. Some locals still believe that Gacy was part of a child sex trafficking ring that involved a prominent citizen, and that there was a cover-up to protect the man. Some believe that was why the police did not investigate the disappearances of young boys that were reported to them until 1978. Gacy himself had spoken of accomplices tantalizing police, then telling them it was their job, and not his, to find them. 6. His paintings sell for how much? Supernaut.com. Depends. The portrait of Charles Manson costs $9,500. Elvis is a steal at $4,500. Want his rosary? After all, Gacy was a good Catholic boy. That will set you back $45,000. Yes, it's $45,000. You can check them out on Supernaut.com. Gacy wanted the money from the sale of his paintings to go to his family. Reportedly, the state of Illinois had different ideas and wanted to keep the money to pay for his 14 years of room and board. Gacy joked that they could evict him. The state filed a suit and then dropped it. At the end of the day, his family reportedly got around $100,000 for the sales. His clown paint box ended up in the private collection of one Arthur Nash, the same guy who bought Ted Bundy's VW Beetle. 7. What's that smell? NewYorkDailyNews.com. After he remarried in 1972, Gacy had a wife, stepkids and a mother-in-law in tow. The perfect family living on Somerdale Avenue. But it seems he still found time to RP and murder young boys and stash their bodies in his crawl space. Reportedly, his mother-in-law complained of the smell, which Gacy put down to sewage. He kept forgetting to call in the plumbers. By that time, Pogo the Clown was on the scene and Gacy was big into Democratic politics, even being photographed with First Lady Rosalind Carter. But by the time he married in 1972, his first victim, Timothy McCoy, was safely stashed in a crawl space. Many more would follow. And his wife couldn't help but notice the gay pornography and the young men Gacy entertained in their garage. It's just business, an angry Gacy told his wife in 2003's film Gacy. 8. A spot of wife swapping in Iowa. Pinterest.com. In 1966, Gacy moved to Waterloo, Iowa, to manage 3 Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants owned by his first wife's father. He seemed to hire a lot of teenage boys. He was entering his model citizen phase, joining the Junior Chamber of Commerce, JC's. But, as with everything Gacy, there was a seedier side. Some JCs went in for wife swapping, prostitutes, even drugs. And Gacy was up for it, regularly cheating on his wife with prostitutes. At that point, he would have described himself as bisexual, as he was also into getting his teenage male employees drunk before proposing sex, laughing it off as a joke if they refused. By 1968, it was no longer a joke and Gacy was behind bars, convicted of sodomy of a teenage boy. He served only 18 months of a 10-year sentence, got out, moved back to Chicago, and bought the house on Somerdale Avenue. It was June of 1970. He would marry again and start a construction company that hired young boys.